In this video, I'm going to show you why it's important to have your own real estate investment super team, how to draft that team, and how my own personal team has saved me money throughout my real estate investing career. So stay tuned. What's up, guys? Andrew here from The Economist. Today's video, again, we're talking about your real estate super team. These are the people that are going to be by your side, in the trenches, going to battle with you, trying to make money, trying to make stuff happen in the game of real estate. If you're new to the channel, thanks for checking it out. It's all focusing on real estate investing, stock market investing, how to do both successfully, and how to create actual personal wealth in your life for yourself and your family moving forward, outside of the realm of the normal 9-to-5 kind of workflow, okay? So thanks for being here. Click that subscribe button below to make sure you stay up to date on all the newest and recent additions to the content. And hope you guys enjoy the video. Drop me a like if you do. Drop me a comment as well. And let's get into it right now. So first person on the list today, we're talking realtors. And you might not think that you need a realtor, but the biggest thing that I can say about having a good realtor in your back pocket is this. They save you time and they save you money. Let's start with time, okay? Time. You want to look at different listings. You want an idea of what you're going to look for in a house. You give that to your realtor. You say, hey, I want a duplex, or I want a single family home. I want this many bedrooms. I want this many bathrooms. I want this much square feet. You have that kind of picked out ahead in your mind. And you say, here you go. What can you do for me? They will send you a curated list of all the houses that meet those criteria for you. That way, you're not wasting your time looking on the realtor.com, looking on realtor.ca, the MLS, the multiple listing service, going through and looking through every single house. And you have to decide for yourself, does this meet our criteria? Does this meet our price point? Does this meet the 8 square footage? Does this meet the number of bathrooms, bedrooms, whatever? So much time is wasted doing this. And at the beginning of my investing career, I made a huge mistake in looking through every single listing that came through the MLS. I just hunting deals like crazy. That is the wrong way to do it. Get your list of criteria that you have, send it over to your realtor. They will send back a list for you, and it's a daily email update of everything that fits your criteria. You go through it line by line, saving yourself an immense amount of time that you can be spent doing other things to increase your profits in real estate. The second part of it, saving you money. Okay, real estate investors need a realtor because they know the neighborhoods, they know the markets. As an investor, you should too, but your realtor should know it a little bit better, well, definitely better than you do, and they should have an idea on different price points in different areas, areas that are growing, areas where there's development, areas where there's a lot of sales currently, different comparables from recent sales. They have a whole overview of what's happening in your market, and if they don't go with that realtor. You have to ask them these questions, right? You have to screen these people before you actually go and say, let's work together. But they should have a really good idea of the market, a really good idea of the rents that are being available in the market. If you're going to buy the house to rent it out, you want to know what to rent it for. One of the easiest way to set that, if you don't want to do any research, you just say, hey, Mr. Realtor, Mrs. Realtor, what are market rents like in this area for similar houses? They should be able to use their network of other realtors to answer that question. Again, if they're not willing to do that for you, see you later. Go with somebody else, okay? When you're trying to find your actual realtor, what you need to do is, number one, make sure that they invest in real estate themselves. The worst thing you can do is find a realtor that you really like, but they don't have any rental properties themselves. They're not what you call have skin in the game, and they're not on the same kind of path as you. When I started out and bought my first property, I used my parents' realtor, and it was okay. He kind of knew what he was doing, but he wasn't an investor like me. And I didn't think that he had enough knowledge, so I ended up leaving him for somebody else further into the future. No harm against him. He's doing his job. He got me the property that I wanted, but I need someone that aligns with my goals, and you should too. In order to find a really good real estate agent, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can do it the old school, not so great way of just driving around the area that you're in, looking at the random signs on the lawns and just calling one of them up and say, hey, do you want to be a realtor? Yes? No? Okay, cool. Whatever. Well, the way I recommend you do it is you find the real estate investment network or chapter, and there's normally these groups of people who are investors in real estate like yourself, and they're in the area you want to invest in. Join the Facebook group, go to a meeting in person if it's possible, or join the Zoom meeting. Ask around, poll these people because they're actually in the game doing what you want to do. They know the good realtors in the area. They have one that they'll gladly share with you. So many investors that are in this are so willing to share what they've done and what they have. If you just ask for recommendations, they'll give you a list. Then you build a list of 5 or 10 people. You can go through them, interview them, and that's how you build your realtor network there, and just find one that works best for you and away you go, okay? With that being said, Once you have your realtor on board, the rest of the super team becomes a lot easier to develop. The realtor has such an expansive reach across the network of investing. They know lawyers, they know accountants, they know mortgage brokers, they know property managers, they know contractors, because they're doing it, they're living it every single day, where the average investor, we're not, okay? So leverage their network of contacts, make it kind of your own personal Rolodex, and ask them for references moving forward. That's one of the biggest advantages you have working with the realtor that doesn't actually come down to the actual bones of the property, just expanding your network through them. Now, the next person on your list is probably going to be a mortgage broker. You have these great houses that you found with your realtor. Now you got to pay for it. So what do? You need someone to get you access to credit, to access to the mortgage. And there's really two main ways people go on this. They go through a bank or they go through a mortgage broker. Now, I'm not here to say one or the other is better. I use a mortgage broker now. I used to use banks, and I'll give you a couple of reasons why I do it, but you can free to use whoever you want. Some people just feel more comfortable using their bank because that's where their money is, that's where their savings accounts are. It's just a little bit cleaner to do it that way. For my money, I like to go with a broker because they have more access to rates. They have generally more applications that they're doing on a daily basis and a weekly basis compared to a banker or the big banks. They're in the game. They're a little bit more plugged in for my money, and they're usually a little bit more quicker to respond, whereas a bank is usually capped to that 9 to 5 kind of workday, where I've had brokers working deals late into the night, like 1, 2 in the morning, trying to get stuff done, trying to get documents back and forth. They're there to work for you. That's their only source of income, and they're really just a little bit more attentive to what I need as an investor versus banks, in my opinion. The one thing to be watchful for with brokers, though, is that they are all commission-based. There's no compensation like at a bank, potentially. So they are looking to make money doing the deals. So just make sure you do your due diligence. And again, pick a mortgage broker or pick a banker that actually invests in real estate themselves so that you're confident that they know what they're doing, that they understand what you're trying to do as an investor. One other thing is that banks will probably be a little bit cheaper on the fees, whereas a mortgage broker might have some extra costs tackled in. But again, do your own due diligence and see how that shakes down. At the end of the day, though, you're looking for the best rate for you. So you might have to scale through a mortgage broker and a bank and another bank and another broker to look at the absolute best rate you can. It's a little bit of paperwork. So if you get your documents that you need in order, you can just kind of ship them off across to different kind of lenders, and then hopefully you get the best rate for you, and you can go forward and purchase with confidence, knowing that you're paying as little as possible and getting full value from the house that you just put an offer down on. The third member of our team is what's called a financial planner. And the role that this person plays is basically just to be the one looking out for you and providing you with the overhead view and the roadmap that you're on. It's good to meet with this kind of person once a year at least and just map out where you're at and where you want to go. And again, it's very important that you have someone in there that is actually investing in real estate themselves, because the average financial planner won't take into consideration having property and the value that it holds over time into your long-term plans if they're not doing it themselves and they don't know the power of it. And to be frank, there are really good financial planners out there and there are really bad financial planners out there. So you really want to make sure the person you're working with is investing in real estate as well, so they understand the concept and what you're trying to do. Now, you can find one at the bank that you normally go to, and usually they're provided for free, or you could pay someone and you can get a little bit better experience potentially. This is one of those things where it kind of is where you get what you pay for. If you're willing to pay a little bit more and you have the means to do so, I would recommend finding a good qualified financial planner. They will just be a little bit more invested in your interest because you are paying them a service, and their kind of returns are tied to your success. So the more successful you are, in theory, the more you'd be willing to pay them to do their job. But they're just there to guide you, right? And when I was starting out as an investor, I went to my financial planner and I didn't really know anything. I didn't know how to calculate my net worth. This is going back a number of years, but I didn't know how to do a net worth. I didn't know what asset versus debt was. I didn't know what bad debt, good debt. I didn't know anything, basically. So the first 3 or 4 times I went to meet with them, I just literally brought a list of questions that I had, and questions would come up in the meeting. And I just said, okay, whoa. Let's take it back a step. Can you explain this concept to me? And if your financial planner is not willing to do that with you and answer those questions for you, see you later. You don't have time for that. Don't waste your time doing that. Go find someone that's willing to work with you, willing to educate you. And if you bring them a concept that they don't know, they should be going looking for answers for you and then providing them back to you in the best way that they can. If they're not willing to go above and beyond for you, again, see you later. Go find someone that will. Go find someone that values you as a person and wants to be on your team. Next up is the good and trusted accountant for your team. And the accountant's role, in my experience, is basically to save you time and frustration. That is basically it. What they want to do is they want to just compile all your documents. You send them all to your accountant at tax time or before that. You're tracking everything at home potentially, unless you have a bookkeeper, which is another member you could opt to use. But you want to send all your receipts, all that stuff in your spreadsheet to your accountant. They process things at tax time. You pay $200, $300, whatever it is, $500. It's worth it. Trust me, it's worth it. For you to sit down there and do everything and go through the taxes for 40 hours versus paying somebody to do it in 4, we're looking at the equation of how much is your time worth. And if you're not willing to pay out that money to do that, are you really treating this as a business or is this a hobby for you? Because if it's a hobby, that's fine. Just be honest with yourself though. Because anyone running this as a business is going to pay an accountant because the accountant knows more than you do, I guarantee it. And they're going to pay that money and say, thank you very much, Mr. and Mrs. Accountant. Thank you for helping me out. I will gladly take your advice and do these things and give you the information you need so that I don't have to go through the painstaking process of doing it myself. That is why the accountant's on your team. They will also have some tax loopholes you can use, or advantages, not loopholes, but advantages that you can make yourself used to. And you can save on taxes. You don't have to pay taxes at tax time. Just saving time, saving money at tax time. It's a no-brainer. Go get an accountant. Do your due diligence as well, but go find somebody that you trust to do the numbers for you and just save yourself the pain and headache, honestly, of doing taxes. Unless you're a crazy numbers person and you know tax code, offload this task, get it out of your hair. Don't worry about it. Just pay someone, and it's so much better if you have someone else doing this one, in my opinion. Moving right along to the next member of the super team, which is a good and trusted lawyer. Why do you need a lawyer? Basically because you can't legally buy a house and transfer the ownership into your name without one. That's all I really know about having a good lawyer. I trust my lawyer. I have them read things through and I have them explain things that I don't understand the contract. And if they're not willing to do that, I will find a new one. But at the end of the day, I keep it really simple with lawyers. They're required to make the sale happen. They need to be upfront with you about what's going to happen, about the process. And I don't really try to overcomplicate it from that. They're just there. They legally make sure the deal is going to go through and work the way it should and protect you if something that was to go awry. It's good to have legal representation. Now, moving on, once you actually have tenants in your property, and if they ever have to get to the point where you have to go to the landlord tenant board or whatever regulatory body there is to try to evict a tenant or to get rent claim that wasn't paid, get it back, then it's really good to have a good lawyer in your back pocket who knows the real estate investing system, how to get things done efficiently, and that's a good person to have in your corner. But when it comes to actually buying the property, it's just basically one of those people that you need to have there to have it done and have it completed. With that being said, if you have a referral network going with your realtor or somebody else, you might be able to save some money on legal fees just because that you're using someone that is recommended by your real estate agent, mortgage broker, or whoever. And that's what I use mine for. Because we have a good relationship, I save some money, and they have a repeat customer that I've done numerous deals with now and will continue to do so in the future because they provide great service at a great price. So that's it for lawyers. Moving on to the next member of the team, and they are a mentor. And people might not think that a mentor is a necessary part of a super team. Let me tell you differently. Mentors, the biggest thing that they're going to do for you is keep you on track and keep you motivated and remove any stopgaps that happen because of anything that you don't understand or you don't know how to deal with. When you have one of those issues that pop up, the first call should be to your mentor and say, hey, have you ever dealt with this before? If they haven't, they'll find someone who has. And if they have, they'll be like, yeah, sure, just do this, this, and this. And you get access to that person. You get the information quickly, and time is money, right? So the quicker you get that information, the quicker you can get around the obstacle, and the quicker you can move forward and get your deal done or fix the problem if there is one. So having a mentor is essential if you want to grow and scale your rental portfolio. And again, as this is a business, or it should be, you want someone in your corner to bounce ideas off of and to have good experience in this game to draw from. Ideally, a mentor should be further ahead in the process than you. If you're buying your first property, your mentor should have 10 or 12, 15 maybe under their belt. If you're buying your 10th property, they should be upwards of 50 to 100, and it should be getting bigger and bigger deals so that there's always somewhere that you can go and some kind of next level platform that you can chase and measure to. If you want to get to where they're going, make sure they're already ahead of you a few steps, Otherwise, if you're getting someone that's only bought 2 properties and you're on number 4, it doesn't really work out as a good mentor. Potentially, you want someone who's a little bit more involved, a little bit more advanced in the game than you are. But having a mentor is essential to get the answers that you need and to provide you with more guidance and keep you motivated. The more you talk to this person, the more their energy builds up inside you and makes you want to just go through a brick wall to get your stuff done and keep tasks moving along so you can keep increasing your portfolio and keep setting yourself up, creating more wealth in your future. Moving right to the second to last member of our team, this is the trusted and true bookkeeper. And this person is essential for you if you want to really take your hands off of the business side of it and tracking of the expenses and the income. Bookkeeper handles all the numbers day to day. You can even give them access to your bank accounts if you want to, if you feel comfortable enough doing that, and they can make the payments for you as well. And it just helps with the tracking of all your expenses and all your income so that you don't have to go through and make those Excel spreadsheets and track all your purchases and transfers, and just you don't have to do the paper trail anymore. You offload that task, you get the time back. They take it on and do it for you, and they work in tandem with your accountant as well. Come tax time, they will be the ones providing the documents and following up with any loose ends. They'll be the ones taking care of all of that. So you just offloaded the task to buy some of your time back. Not everybody that I know does this, but in my opinion, it's a worthwhile thing to do if you're not one to go through and set up those Excel sheets. You don't want to track anything. You're just not that invested in that side of the business. That's fine. Have a bookkeeper, have them do it for you, and you guys sleep a little bit easier knowing that they're a qualified professional, knowing what they're doing, and they will help you out immensely over time. With that being said, again, referrals to find one. Once you do, it's always nice, again, to make sure that they have their own rental property. They know what they can actually include as expenses and what are actually not allowed to be included. They know different, again, kind of loopholes that there are in the tax system and things you need to record, things you don't need to record, waste time on. And they will just kind of expedite the process and make things easier for you. And that takes us to our last member of the team. And this one is crucial if you want to scale large and long term. There's only so many hours in the day, and it is impossible to do everything yourself, especially when it comes to managing your property. If you want to grow this thing and reach the 5, 10, 15 property limit on your own without actually managing them yourself, you need a property manager, and they are worth their weight in gold just because of the time freedom that they offer you. Not to say that it's all hands off though. You still have to manage your property manager, because you just let them go unchecked and you think it's totally hands off, hands free. That's not the case here. You have to be checking in with them. They should be giving you some kind of report on a bi-weekly, monthly basis of where the properties are at, what's been done, where the money's going, if rent's being paid on time, what the anticipated costs coming up are. There's different things that they can track for you, but a good property manager alleviates the stress level. You don't get those phone calls in the middle of the night when you're on vacation away with the family. You just offload that task and they deal with it directly. You don't chase people down for rent anymore. You don't have to worry about filling your unit if it's vacant. You give them all this control to do that, and you just check up with them, make sure that they're doing what you want them to do to a certain standard, and then they go and do it. They do get compensated pretty well for it. Generally, you're going to pay probably 1 month's rent up front to have them fill the property if it's vacant, and then an ongoing maybe 4 to 5% to actually do the property and run it for you month to month. If you want to scale, it's a necessary expense. You just tack it on. You can claim it back as an expense, and you get your time back, and then you can grow your portfolio and focus on doing the tasks that actually help you expand your reach instead of going and chasing after a tenant that's missing the rent payment by a couple of days. You just let that task go to somebody else and get the time back for yourself. So an essential piece if you want to grow, not really necessary if you're doing your first property. It's always good to kind of get that under your belt and see what everything kind of works like, so you have an idea of what a good property manager should be doing, because you've actually got through the process yourself. That way you know you're not being taken advantage of when a property manager comes and asks you different things and different questions. You actually know what the system's supposed to be and how it's supposed to work. So I recommend doing the first property yourself, maybe 1 or 2, and then kind of scaling up from there. If you have the means to pay for a property manager, by all means go and do that. It'll help you increase your portfolio immensely moving forward. Now, you guys are probably all wondering how much I've actually saved over the years with all these people on my team. And before we get to that number, just wanted to say you can check out more articles at the blog at www.theeconomist.com. Also check out what's going on Instagram. I post on Instagram pretty much daily with new content about stocks, real estate investing, and just building a business. So check that out as well if you have time. And again, don't forget to subscribe before you leave the video here today to make sure you get all the notifications for the next videos when they are released. Okay, so back down to the number. The big number of money that I think I've saved using my super team over the years is $90,000. Roughly $15,000 a year. Some of it from my mortgage broker getting me better interest rates. Some of it from my real estate agent from investing in better areas with a better appreciation rate than others. A little bit from my lawyer that I've been able to save on legal fees because it's a preferred customer and repeat business. A little bit from the accountant at tax time, saving money that way. And then just general savings day to day through my mentor and helping me refine my systems and getting things in place to help me better manage my portfolio. With that being said, I have saved an incalculable amount of time in the past 6 years, trusting on these individuals to help me and guide me through the process. If I didn't have them, the amount of research and paperwork and internet reads and Googling and YouTubing and all that stuff that I'd have to do to research and figure out what I'm trying to do, I can't even put a number on that amount of time that I've saved. And that's time that I've directly put back into spending time with friends and family and building out other investment tools that I'm trying to do and expanding my reach and my personal wealth. So that's the number for you guys there, 90K roughly that I've estimated it at. If you guys want to get started in real estate, I recommend building up your own super team. Go trust these individuals, offload some tasks. You can't do everything yourself. There's not enough time in the day. A super team helps you get the job done and do it more efficiently. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Keep checking in for new content dropped as often as I can provide it, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.